we have a mover and seconder that's ready to go? Yes, same too.
Wow, the markets took hit today.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, we are now live streaming post closed session.
Okay, thank you very much. We are going to put a motion on the screen, and I'm looking for, I guess I will, may I ask for Deputy Apollo and Councillor Barrow to be the mover and seconder again. We are coming back here. We do have this motion here as directions saying that the council reconsider its earlier decision in respect to staff report SRPRS 20058 to permit the original staff recommendations contained to be further considered by council. So we have that before us at this time. It's a reconsideration. I would ask all those in favor.
You're gonna have a
Again,
mover, need a mover and a seconder first, eh?
We do, Mr. I just apologize. I haven't typed it in yet. It's just Councillor DePaula and Councillor Barrows have moved and seconded it.
And are they gonna speak to it?
Well, I think we're dealing, all it is for the reconsideration. So then we're gonna move into the next item.
Record the vote, please.
I'm sorry?
This is just for reconsideration to bring it back, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
All right, that's what this is for. Again, I'm blocked out, so if somebody wants to say yes. Move. Okay, all those in favor? Yes, all those in favor?
I asked for a recorded vote, please.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. I didn't hear that. My apologies.
No worries, no worries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Voting on the motion to reconsider the earlier decision, Councillor Silovitz,
No,
Councillor Munch,
Yes.
Councillor Chan,
No.
Regional Local Councillor Pirelli,
I don't know if he's back yet.
Regional Local Councillor Pirelli, please.
Yes.
Oh, I can't hear him.
Mayor Barrow,
Yes.
Councillor Barrows,
Yes.
Councillor West,
No.
Councillor Liu,
No.
Regional Local Councillor DePaula,
Yes.
that carries.
Okay. So are we now reconsidered? So at this point in time, we do have another matter. Mr. Clerk.
Something happened in the stock markets today. It took a real hit to everybody's portfolio. Cryptocurrency's doing well.
Okay, we are on. There we go.
And I would ask the Deputy Mayor, Deputy Mayor DePaula and Councillor Barrows to confirm that that was your intent, correct?
So my intent was that the staff report is back in front of us.
Yes.
And then if any members of council want to make an amendment to it, they can go ahead and make an amendment. If it gets seconded, we can discuss it and then vote on it. So without me reading every single word, that's what we have in front of us right now is just the The original staff report?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's just, let me just take this out then. Thank you. And now this is exactly from the staff recommendations, yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Do we have a request for Councilor Munch? Did you wish to comment?
Yeah, I think we should move the document that was given to the clerk that we've had some discussion with about. I think we should be going through that.
Just give me 1 minute, please.
So this is watered down from what those approved on April 16th. Check these people's positions.
Okay, let's not get into dates. Well, we gave the. Okay, Councilor Munch.
I believe that's in front of you now.
So we're going to give everybody a chance to read it once again to make sure they know each bullet point. They can read for themselves.
I would ask for a seconder.
I'll second that.
Okay, Councilor Barros. Thank you.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Well, we have one. Thank you, Councilor Barros, second.
Oh, sorry, my mic's
No.
Yeah,
Not a problem.
it gets hidden somehow.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah, if I may.
Okay, you go ahead and explain your amendment then.
So as per the delegations today, number one, the local streets as requested are not supported by anybody east of Yonge Street, and we do want to make a pedestrian, cyclist, walkability area in a key development area. So I think that's a very, very important point, and it's also in line with where council has stood in the last year. The BRT line is being built today, and there's already contracts in place, and that that is not in the staff report. We want those dedicated areas that are already dedicated from the region, and where those contracts are would be isolated in there. The third was reference to Ring Road, as in the delegations that came forward. The Ring Road system is not supported, and seeing that we want to promote transit in the eastern corridor, it's very important to try to work with the property owners so we can have an embracement of our transit network. Point 4, removing the potential signalized intersection. Once again, the BRT does not have that as a signalized intersection today. There's not a break in the roadway. So we want to make that clear in today's report, because there's no factual documentation anywhere from the region or anywhere else to say otherwise, and there's already contracts in place. Point 5, the greenway system. We already have an agreement with we have an agreement that we put in place, and we have LPAT who have given direction to that greenway system, And we also had the Commissioner of Planning who's also agreed that that needs to be modified. So we've put that in the motion to correct the staff report. 6, the very common practice and from the province is where if we're going to try to protect where we don't have buildings next to residents, we'd like to have it next to the bus rapid transit terminal. We don't want it near existing residents and detaches, which is why we're trying to make it as close and as dense and as closest to that area that's already a commercial building. Please take note, east of Yonge Street has commercialization, west of Yonge Street has none or virtually none. So it's a complete difference between the east versus west. And it's very important that we get the bus rapid transit terminal stop that's going to be using the Northeast lands and the bus rapid transit Bernard terminal that's already there. And the region is expanding upon it. And it's a priority for the province that we make that known. And it's very common to have that. 7, lower parking standards in order to promote the transit, to encourage people to walk and live and play and reduce the traffic into the neighborhood is very clear. We already have 10415 Yonge Street, the hub, which was done over 10 years ago when we were doing our plan, well underway, that the region has supported a low parking standard. If we don't agree to that, then why would we support on Yonge Street where there isn't a hub or where there isn't a bus rapid transit? Why would we have ever approved that 10 years ago plus when we wouldn't do it today in a key development area in line? Last one is we should have borders where borders should be, on the edge of roads, not through people's property. As we learned in the downtown local center secondary plan, put arbitrary borders in the middle of people's property only creates agitation, and it's not a quality way. So we should have it where there's a roadway or where there's a natural border, like a German Mills Creek. That's where we should have it. The zoning be the remove of the open space component in Schedules A. Clearly, we want to have linear parks, and we want to make sure that the people going forward are having it integrated, and to have open spaces needs to be corrected. And the maximum FSI in the Northeast quadrant, very much in line with what I said earlier, that we're trying to qualify that we want the densest areas to be where they should be designed to be, and we should scale back from there so that we protect neighborhoods. So that's where we want to go, because the people east of Yonge Street certainly can't afford to have all the roads and all the development and all the traffic without having a walkable, livable area that's embracing transit. And this is an absolute need by the, as it was heard in the delegation, every single property owner and has been delegated by residents are not opposed to this concept.
Thank you, sir. Comments, please, and I need you. Somebody say your name. Yes, go ahead, Councilor Pirelli.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I want to thank Councilor Munch for making these suggestions. It has been clear throughout this entire process, Mr. Mayor, that the #1 priority is to make sure that we deal with the traffic congestion. And it's a #1 priority that we come to some kind of resolution. This motion addresses all of that, Mr. Mayor. It says we respect staff and all the work they've done, and we're just going to make a few minor changes that we think will help in the process. And what's really important is that we keep our date in July with LPAT. We respect all the work that staff did, and so that all of the negotiations they've done still get respected and endorsed at LPAT. And this addresses some of the outstanding issues that are in contention. And then anything else, the small amount of disagreements that are had between residents, staff, and applicants will be addressed in July, and we'll be able to move forward and not have to reconsider them. So, like I said earlier, Mr. Mayor, we're never going to get to the point where we all agree on everything. And so let's get it in front of LPAT. LPAT's going to make the decision ultimately. There's no point in adjourning this any further down and kicking the can down the road, because all we're going to do is some point in the future, we're going to be faced with the same questions. And if everybody is so confident that the things in this that they can't agree with are vehemently wrong, then LPAT will certainly show us that in their ruling in July. I think this is a win-win-win situation for everyone. And it doesn't disrespect our staff, and it doesn't disrespect the residents, and it doesn't disrespect the residents' money that we have spent through this entire process, Mr. Mayor. I'm very confident that this will pass today. Those are my comments. I want to thank the mover and the second.
Oh, thank you. Any other comments? I'm gonna Call out?
Yes, please.
Okay, Councillor West.
I'll keep this very brief. I wasn't in favor of the initial motion, and I'm not in favor of this amendment. I don't believe that this will address any of the concerns that I had in the things that I've said earlier in the meeting, so I won't be able to support this.
Okay, any other comments? Any other people?
Councillor Chen?
Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, and it's always good to try to make the best out of it. But certainly the staff have put in a lot of efforts, consulting, as well as looking at urban design, looking at the assumptions of the traffic and so on, so on. So I'd like to ask the comments through you, Mr. Chair, to Commissioner Kwong. If this adjustment on both second and zoning bylaw, let's say pass, as someone said confidently today.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please. So we're just trying to clarify a few things. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, the point of order is this. It has been clear that earlier on, the questions of Commissioner Kwan should have been asked in
Yes.
closed session, not now. This is not the time to try to embarrass anyone any further, Mr. Mayor. I will not stand for it. If he has questions of the commissioner, let's go back into closed session and ask those questions. We've prejudiced our position far enough already. Thank you.
I would agree. So the
Okay.
Commissioner will not
Well,
be.
since I don't have the opportunity to do it in the at this time, so I have no further comment, and let's call the vote. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wish to comment on the amendment here? Okay.
Mayor,
Mr.
it's
DePaula, go
Mr.
ahead.
Mayor, it's Commissioner Kwan. May I interject?
Sorry,
It's the commissioner. May I interject?
I'm sorry.
No,
No, we're saying we've got Councillor DePaulo. Sir, you're on.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree. This is a major plan. It was difficult to make all parties happy. I think I'll say it again, that the fact that there are people on all sides that aren't completely happy, it's probably a good compromise. I commend Councillor Munch for coming, sort of fighting for his residents and making these adjustments that he believes is going to help the traffic flow on the east side of Yonge Street. My preference would have been to support previous recommendations for transportation, but what's paramount and what's far more important is that we get into this hearing and we equip our staff with an ability to not prolong this hearing any further. So I support the changes on the floor.
Okay, any other comments? Okay. Seeing none and hearing none. Is anybody asking for a special vote, or are we just going to go hands up or names out?
What the
For
vote?
Recorded vote, please.
Oh,
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay,
I can see
recorded
it now.
vote.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor, voting on the motion to amend the main motion. Councillor Munch,
Yes,
Councillor Chan,
No,
Councillor Liu,
No.
Councillor West,
No.
Counselor Barrows,
Yes.
Counselor Sullivan,
Sorry.
I didn't hear you.
Counselor Silovitz,
No.
Mayor Barrow,
Yes.
Regional and Local Counselor DePaula,
Yes.
Regional and Local Counselor Pirelli. Regional and Local Counselor Pirelli, please.
There you go.
I don't know if he's there.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Your vote, please.
What is your vote?
Yes, I said yes 6 times.
We didn't hear you. I'm
Apologize,
sorry.
we didn't hear it.
We didn't hear you.
The amendment carries. Mr. Mayor, I would just remind that when we go back to the main motion as amended, if you allow me to bring up on the screen, Commissioner Kwan does have a recommendation that needs to be added to that.
Okay.
So just give me a moment, I'll bring up the revised motion.
I think it's probably.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, on your screen now is the main motion as amended. I've also, as a courtesy, included clause F, which the commissioner has indicated to me he requires authority for.
Which is the retaining
Yes.
necessary external consultants. Okay. Fair enough. Is everybody comfortable with that addition as is? We now have the motion as amended. How would you like to vote on that?
Record the vote, please.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor, voting on the main motion as amended. Counselor Silovitz,
No.
Mayor Barrow,
Yes.
Counselor Liu,
No.
Regional and Local Counselor DePaula,
Yes.
Counselor Munch,
Yes.
Counselor Barrows,
Yes.
Counselor Chan,
No,
Regional and Local Counselor Pirelli,
Yes.
Counselor West,
No.
the motion as amended carries only.
Okay. Thank you all very much. We are now bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at this meeting. Can I have a mover and a seconder for bylaw 6020? Councilor Barrows, Councilor Paula, all those in favor, opposed, carried. Motion to adjourn.
Morelli.
Councilor West, Councilor Barrows, all those in favor, opposed, carried. Thank you all. 4:30.
Mr. Mayor, we do have